Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. My name is Barry.
And I'm Jay.
And together we are Mitosu Crafts.
Yes, welcome to our channel. We're independent Stampin' Up demonstrators based in the UK. So if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands, you'll be able to purchase current Stampin' Up products from our online shop. Do use the card host code, which can be found on our website at mitosocrafts.com to receive a handmade card from us the following month, or any extra gifts if your order qualifies, in the form of free packs of pearls or gems, as well as exclusive tutorial bundle designed by the Stampin' Glam Squad and the Global Creative Project. We give away the cards that we create during our live streams, so don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you can pop in a comment and you'll be put into the random draw for the cards to win, or card even. So for those of you who have joined us, thank you so much, and we'll say hello to those of you.
Are you regretting picking him up now?
No, he's such a wiggler.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle. Hi, Anne, Betty, Connie, Kathy, Cindy, hello, Sandra, Maureen, Betty, Gian, Susan, hello, Judy, Marion, and that's it. Thank you.
Lovely. Okay, we're nice and quick tonight.
Yeah.
Lovely. So Susan's just coming down there at the end.
Come in. Thank you so much.
Excellent. So lovely. So that was, you're making that too easy for Jay tonight. Far too easy. He got into that very, very quickly, didn't he? So I think he yes, I normally speak a little bit before you go on to that live, actually. I just realised it will give people time. So I'm going to be playing with the whimsical trees tonight, but some sentiments from our other sets, but mainly the whimsical trees is what I'm going to be playing with this evening. So a few more names in there. We have Donna and we have Mandy.
Yes.
Oh no, Mandy was already out. Mandy, you got a double shout out. Look at that. So good. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we do the draw?
No, we'll do the draw.
We'll do the draw. Lovely. So we're going to give away. Now I made the one which had the blue strip on live on Sunday. And so I've made another one which has now got the fresh freesia strip going down it, and that's the one which we're going to give away live this evening. So if you've popped your comment in, then you are in the draw. So let's go over to that right now, and then we will then do the live. So good luck, everyone. Is there any new names just got to sneak in there?
I don't know. Who's it gonna be? Connie! Congratulations,
Congratulations, Connie. Just the formalities. If you can just email us, please, Barry and Jay at mitosucrafts.com. And if you're happy to receive that card, we will pop it in the post to you.
Amazing.
So congratulations, Connie. Oh, I didn't turn the light on. Oh, so much brighter. You can see that card so much better now, can't you?
Did it make a difference?
So good. So Connie, if you'd like that card is going to be working its way over to you. So Susan, or hopefully you can. You're on a 10-minute break, so that's a shame. Can't you Sky for a little bit longer?
No.
we'll get you into trouble. Sorry. There we go. So Connie, congratulations. You have won this card right here. So as I've mentioned already, Whimsical Trees is the stamp set of this evening. Now, the reason we're using this as well is that this is also in the last chant products. So this is going to be leaving us on the beginning of January, to say the end of December. It's about the 2nd or 3rd of January it actually officially goes, or unless it sells out prior to that. So this is currently on sale, and is it, if I remember, 50% off of this stamp set. So if you would like this one, now is a good time to get it, because you can save yourself 50% on it. Now the dies, I believe, for us here in the UK are currently unavailable, but they're relatively easy to fussy cut out, but obviously you can save yourself, and it's a lovely stuff. So I am going to be doing some die cutting tonight, but the first card I'm not going to be doing any die cutting with a specific dies for this one, but on the second card I will be, but they are suitable enough for actually fussy cutting because they're quite straightforward to cut out. So that's what I'm going to be doing this evening. So I do hope you enjoy it. And I'm going to be showing you a technique as well. Now, it's a video I've been meaning to do for a while, so I probably will do the video as well for a quick video, but I'm going to show you how you can emboss with your stencils. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of embossing with a stencil this evening, so I'm going to show you how that is all done. But I probably will try and do a standalone video, so it's a nice quick video for you as well. But yeah, that's that. So first card, I'm going to be using a cherry cobbler. I'm going to be using some basic white. I've got some basic white thick here. I do have some regular white stuff with me, but I'm using thick for when I'm going to be doing the embossing, because it just gives a little bit more thickness and height to it, so it embosses a little bit better as well. So I'm just going to cut myself a layer down at the moment. So I want this to be 9.5 by 9.5 by 13.6. Okay, so which is now going to be my nice matte and layer for my project. I'm going to take my card base, which I think this might actually already be cut down to size. No, it isn't. So I'm going to take this to 14.6, and I'm going to score this at 10.5 centimeters. So basically, I've got you create your card base, whatever size you use. Create yourself a layer to whatever size you use. So you can use our measurements if you wish. Or use whatever ones you want, but I just want a nice border around my card base. I can fold and burnish my card base now. So that there is ready. So that's that one. I'm also going to be taking a piece. Should I use that one there? Yes, I will use that one. I'm also going to be taking another piece right here. Actually, no, I will use some basic white normal. Let me just grab some here. I do have my normal basic white, and I'm going to be taking my tree. So the tree which I'm going to be using is this tree right here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to go tone on tone on this one. So I've got cherry cobbler card base, so I'm going to go with a cherry cobbler tree as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink this up, and then I'm going to stamp this down. I've just realised I may have just put this in the wrong position, but that's fine, because what I need to do is I need to cut this out. Yes, I didn't do that correct. What I need to do is I need to bear in mind I need to cut this out here, so I'm just going to turn it over and I'll do the opposite side. I was trying to save on card. I'm just realised on my page. So we're going to do that, and then that there. This is the dies from the Stitch So Sweetly dies, my favourite. Excuse me. And that fits that tree quite nicely. I should have done, but I forgot about them actually. They're in the box, I'm assuming, aren't they? Yeah. We did actually buy the what are they called? Contours dies. I can't remember. I'm sure they're named something different to that, aren't they? Okay. So I'm just going to clean that one. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just die cut that one out. So I'm just going to
I can't check minis on me.
Just give myself a little bit of room here. Now I just need to remember my sandwich from my embossing later on. That one.
Scallop contour style.
Ooh, lovely.
You can show it.
Thank you. Right, so I'm just going to die cut this one out right here. Oops. So I'm just going to bring my machine over, and we're just going to die cut this one. So I do just need to just trim that down a little bit. So just cut this tree out like so. And I'm just going to pop that in at a slight angle, because if you've got a straight edge die, pop it in at a slight angle will then make it go through the machine a lot easier. Oh, you think I'm going to get one, do you, Sherry? Let's hope I can prove you wrong. Alright, so that's that cut out right there. What I'm going to do with this one here is I want to do a little bit of embossing on, heat embossing on this as well. So I've got myself some gold embossing, and I'm going to take the dots from here and I'm going to emboss these in gold. So I'm just going to take my Versamark, I'm going to take my embossing buddy, just so that it just takes off any greasy finger marks and any if that ink is slightly wet still, so it doesn't stick completely to that, but just do this. And I'm going to get that ready, and I'm going to ink up these dots right here. So, and I'm using just a Versamark here, which is just a clear sticky ink. Get that nice and juicy, and then pop this over the top of this one here, and then down we go. I'm then going to then take my gold embossing powder and pour this on top. And then that's just going to stick to all of those little dots. And because I put the white in because I popped some of the embossing buddy on it, it's not stuck to anything else if there was any moisture on there at all. So just decant that back into your container and lid on straight away. First thing you want to do, get the lid on it as soon as possible. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to heat set this, so it's just going to give a little bit of an accent here. It's not going to add much, but it's just going to hopefully shine through a little bit. So I'm just going to get this nice and hot, and then I'm going to then heat set. So at the moment you can see that they're matte, so they're going to now turn shiny in a second. And that's that. So you can see there, we've now got, can you see that now has now gone to a nice shiny, so it just adds a little bit of a different element to it. Now the reason I've done that, that colourway, is because I'm actually going to be using the cherry cobbler and gold ribbon as well, so I've kind of done it like this to match. So that's the reason why I've chosen those colours. So what I want to do now is I want to do some embossing with my piece which I cut earlier on. So just pop all of that to one side. Let me just clean my stamp as I go. Okay, so that's that nice and clean. I did that already, so they can go to one side. Okay, so that's that. So what I'm going to do now is I want to now grab myself my stencil. I'm also going to grab myself a silicone craft sheet. Okay, so this is what you need. And I am going to take my Suki, my big Suki. Okay. Okay, so the platform which you want to use on this oh, I'm so sorry. The platform which you want to use on this.
You're just putting that on, aren't you? You were fine the rest of the day.
I know I was. I've got a tickle in my throat.
You want a drink?
No, I'm fine. Thank you. So, what I've got here is I have got the plate number 1. So if you want to do some embossing with your stencils, I've got plate number 1. I have got plate number 4. So remember, these all plate number 4 does come with a machine, Joe, Joe, doesn't it? So I've got plate number 1, plate number 4. Then I have got my silicone sheets. Okay. Then I've got my paper. So I'm going to put my paper down here. I'm going to position my stencil over the top where I want it to be. So I want it to, if you wanted to do the whole thing, cover it over the whole thing. And I am aware that you can't actually, I'm slightly off camera here, so let me just turn it around a little bit. So plate number 1, plate number 4, silicone sheets, then your paper, and then your stencil. So if you want to do it all, put it over the top, but I want to do half or around about like that. So I'm going to position that as straight as I possibly can. So you can see that I'm just going to turn this around so it's facing me, because it's easier for me to cut them to do this now. And then once you've done that, you then want to then grab a clear plate, so a plate number 3. Okay, and then pop that carefully over the top without moving that too much. Alright, and then run this through. Now it's going to give you a little bit of resistance, but that's fine. Just go through carefully and slowly. If it feels like it's pushing too much, then do not go in too far, but I'm just going to do that nice and slowly. If it feels like you've got too much resistance, don't force it, because you're using your machine. Just practice with your two cutting plates. Just practice until you get something. I did that whilst I was off camera. Just practice until I got the correct pressure, but that's how I've used it. So plate number 1, plate number 4, silicone sheet, paper, stencil, and then top it off with number 3. And then once you've done that, you take this, and then can you see that you have now turned your stencils into embossing folders or embossing stencils. So that's how you would now emboss with it. And I've got this line going here, but that's fine, because that line is where I'm going to use my ribbon to cover that join up. But you can do the whole thing if you want to, but I think it's just an amazing way of doing it. You could always do some stenciling, you could do some colour inking for if you wanted to, and then run it through your machine. I think it's just such a great technique. So that's the way you can use your tools to turn these into something different. Okay, I hope that has helped some of you there. So let's take this ribbon and pop this over the top. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of this ribbon off here. Just need my tear and tape. Alright, and then I will then just pop this over the back and attach it. Obviously, and you can see on the back here, because where the silicone craft sheet is dirty, which is why I've done that underneath, so that when it's pushing through, the dirt is going to be on the back of the card and not transfer to the front. So that's why we're kind of pushing the stencil. Oh no, sorry, that doesn't make sense, because I had the craft sheet, paper, and then stencil on top of it. So the craft sheet was dirty, and then that's just transferred to the back. So if I did it the other way around and the craft sheet was on top, then this was going to then transfer onto the front of the card. Alright, so just be aware of that one. So then that's that one. I can go ahead and I can stick this now directly onto my card base. So you can see now we've got tone on tone right here. Just make sure, and you can see I've then covered up that join. So how many of you have actually done that with your stencils already? Did you know that you could do that with your stencils? Let us know. So then that's just going to go. And I just love this cherry cobbler and this gold. It's quite nice.
It's retiring as well.
What's retiring? Sorry, the ribbon. Yes, the ribbon is retiring. Is that on offer? Is that on discount at all?
I don't think so.
No. But if you like this ribbon, grab it soon before it goes, because they are on a while stocks last basis now. So, excuse me. I suppose one question I'm going to ask you is, I'm going to do the sentiment, and I'm going to be using Season's Greetings. Now, the Season's Greetings is from the Merriest Moments stamp set, because I didn't want to use any of the sentiments in this one, so I'm using the Season's Greeting. Now, that's going to go at the bottom, so I'm going to have this is going to go like that. And then Season's Greetings is going to go at the bottom down here. Now, should I do this? This is a poll question, Jay, I suppose. Should I do the sentiment in black, or should I do the sentiment in cherry cobbler? What would you like, black or cherry cobbler sentiment? Whilst you're doing that, I'm just going to pop some dimensionals on the back of this one and then stick this down right here.
Yeah, the Merriest Moments will be carrying over.
Yes.
But the bundle is...
Yes, Merriest Moments stamp set is, we can confirm that is carrying over till we'll be returning again in the next autumn winter catalogue next year. But it will not be returning as a bundle. So if you like it, then I would, and you want to save yourself a little bit of money and you want to get the stamp set and the dies, get it get it now, because when it comes back next year it will be 10% more, because obviously you can't buy it as a bundle, whereas if you buy the stamp set and the dies now, you save 10%. Okay, so I've got myself some dimensionals on the back of this, and then all I'm going to do is I'm then just going to position this like that. And then, once we know what you want us to do with the sentiments, we will then stick that down like that. So I think, by the looks of it at the moment, Joe, if we want to end that poll, I think we are 86% cherry cobbler by the looks of it. So I'm just going to have a little look at this, just to see. A bit of scrap here. Yeah, that's fine. So 85% cherry cobbler. So there we go. Let's ink this up. I just wanted to see what it's like second generation. No, first generation it is. There's a cat hair right on it now. I don't want to do that because this is I've just seen a cat hair on it, so I'm just going to clean. I wasn't going to put my fingers in it because knowing me, I'll put my fingers all over the red and then I would then transfer that red onto the card. So you use your scrub. That's that there. And then I'm going to pop this down here. Fingers crossed this comes out. And there we have it. That there is a card number 1 for you. So you've got the sentiment down the bottom down here. There was a little bit of a still rogue cat hair. That's the only problem with cat hairs. With the gold embossing on here, which ties in with that ribbon. What do you think? Do you like it? Something very simple, but you've got some techniques in there, and hopefully I've taught you how you can then use your embossing, your stencils to emboss your cardstock. And I think that just gives a nice subtle background on there. So do you like?
Amazing.
That felt very quick for one card, but it is 20. I said that last time and then ended up being another hour later. So
Betty H said it never works out for her, but she'll try your tip and see if that works.
Okay, if you try that platform. So sorry.
Are you sure you don't want to drink?
No, I'm good. Yes, so plates number 1.
She doesn't have the cutting board.
Okay, you don't have to cut and
still
emboss.
works for me in the big shop.
It's still that same platform that
I used to cut in place.
Yeah, I will do one with the. That's why I want to do a standalone video, because I want to do a standalone video. So one showing you how to use it with the cut and emboss, and then also one with the big shot as well. I think Jay's just going to try it now. You're just going to try it. So that's that one there. I did do one off camera, and that is one with a black sentiment. So those of you who wanted black, that is it in a black sentiment, and that one there is in the cherry cobbler. So good, I'm going to get myself ready for card number 2 whilst Jay is having a little play around with the
I normally use
with the platform, and we will see whether or not we can give you the correct platforms for the next one. So for the next card, just not show you the finished project. For the next card, we are going to need to put myself down a mat so I can do myself a bit of ink blending here. And what I've got is I have got myself some balmy blue cardstock. I will be taking myself some Misty Moonlight cardstock as well, so I'm just going to take my Misty Moonlight and I'm just going to prepare my card base. That's Jay trying it in the background. So did that work, Jay?
Yes, that is with the number 4 plate, but
Okay.
if you have the big shot, the blue plate is equivalent.
Okay. So Jay's just run it through the normal big shot. So he used, what plates did you use? Sorry, let me just show it. So this, which is we've got the normal plate. We've used 1 base plate. We used the silicone sheet, then it would be paper, then it would be stencil, and then finished off with plate number 4, which before, if you haven't got the Suki, this will be the blue plate. So the one which is done for, the blue plate is for 3D embossing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you've got the 3D embossing folder for the big shot, then that's the platform which you want to do, and that's how it works out. So the standard plates, clear plate, silicone sheet, paper, stencil, and your 3D embossing plate, and that will then work through your big shot. Okay, could you just write that down for us so I can actually remember it? So
It's the same as what you.
yeah, I know, but if you can just write it down.
I'll take a picture. That's better.
Yeah. I will. I am going to do a separate video for that one, so it'll just be a quick couple of minute video, just so I can show it. So if you forget it, you haven't got to sit there and trawl through a long video. Okay, so I'm just going to cut myself my card base here. So I've got myself Misty Moonlight. So again, 14.6 scored in half at 10.5. Fold and burnish that one, and then I'm going to take myself a bit of balmy blue here. Now I'm going to take this to. Right, so this sounds a bit odd. I'm going to take this to 10.1 by 14.1. All will make sense in a moment because I'm going to be doing.
It's okay, you're in my seat.
I'm just checking my things. Yeah, just chuck those. That's one. Alright, so 10.1 by 14.1, because what I want to do is I'm going to do some ink blending, and then I want to then cut it down so I can then get rid of any of the darker edges which are around the outside. So I'm always going to start off with something which is a little bit bigger than I really need, to then get rid of the put my teeth in, get rid of the blemishes. That was hard work. Alright, so the colours I have got here, I'm going to be using Night of Navy. Going to be using balmy blue, not for this. I'm not for this part. So for the blending, I'm going to be using Pacific Point and Night of Navy. All right. So I'm going to start off with Pacific points. So this is going to get a little bit wobbly, but I'm just going to use my blending brushes. I'm going to pick up my Pacific points, and I'm going to then blend this onto the Balmy Blue cardstock. And then we'll just do this, and I'm just going to bring this down to around about halfway, just below halfway, and then I'm just going to blend it out and soften it just a little bit so it then starts to go into the Balmy Blue.
Wibble wobble.
Wibble wobble. And then I'm just going to then just intensify and darken this down. So, and the reason why I started off dark is because bigger, but it's because you can see you get a darker edge, and I want to maybe just cut those away because sometimes it looks a little bit ugly sometimes when you're doing that. So it's just a way, start off with something bigger to then cut it down to the size you want. So that's the Pacific point going onto Balmy Blue. Pop my lid on, and then I'm going to then do the same with, I'm using the same brush, and I'm just going to then do this with Night of Navy, and I'm just going to then bring this down on the top to kind of like simulate like a nice gradient dark night sky. And I'm kind of arching as I go round as well, so I'm kind of starting down lower here, going up, and then arching round rather than going across in a straight line. And I think that kind of helps a little bit with the blending myself. Anyway, I think that works. Okay. And it kind of creates that centre bit. So that's that one, and then I'm just going to finish this off again with another bit of Pacific point just to go over. Pick up that and then just go over this again. Kind of over the whole thing. Just blending it out a little bit at the bottom. So there we have that. Okay, so there is my my scene created. That's to one side. What I want to do now is I then just want to then cut this down to size. So I'm just going to double check how big I actually wanted this again. So I want to take this to 9.5 by 13.6. So the reason why on one of these I cut it to 10.1 is because it's easier for me to then take off 3mm and then 3mm on both sides to then get to a 9.5. Otherwise, if I take it to 10, I would have to take off 2 and 3. So it's just easier to start off in that way, especially if you've got something which is, you kind of try to create an arch. That 1mm could throw the whole thing out. So I've just thought about my position. So I just got rid of my strips there. And then that was then 14.1. So again, I should have taken it already to 14.2. I didn't use my own advice for the top parts. But I don't necessarily need to do it on the bottom, so I can just take that off of the whole thing. So I can take that down to 13.6. And then that gets rid of any of those dark edges which you may have got if you haven't got your blending quite right. Just takes away and then just tidies up the edges just a little bit here. So that's that one. Then what I want you to do is I'm going to grab myself some Wink of Stella. Well, thank you very much, Kathy.
Oh wow, thank you, Kathy.
Not too generous, but thank you very much. So what I've got here is I've got myself the Winker Stella. Now this is a relatively new Winker Stella. Okay, so it's quite juicy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm taking a block and I'm just going to squeeze this over a block for a moment, just to see lots of that has already come out. So this is going to get really blobby now. All right, so I'm just going to take that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to then just gently flick this over this whole piece. And because I've done it on a block here, if it's, instead of me squeezing some more to get more out, I can pick a little bit up here and then just transfer over. And the harder I hit, the bigger the blobs which come out. So can you see there, what's happened is I've got a nice kind of wintry, snowy scene going on. So just go do as much or as little as you want. Oh, just be careful. I've done a J. Think to yourself, oh, it's not going on there, and then realise it's actually going down below. So you do just need to, sometimes less is more. I'm going to stop there. That part is going to get covered up. You can see it's gone a little bit heavy down at the bottom down there, but I am going to cover some of that up. But the top part, the night sky, I think looks quite nice. It just adds a little bit of interest to the background of the card. So that's what you can do. But I would recommend, especially if you've got a relatively new juicy Winker Stella, blob it onto a block first. Then if it saves you having to squeeze it too much, and then you can then just pick off the excess and then go around, and just be careful, because especially it does come out quite thick as well. So it's just a little tip for you, but it's just go gentle, okay? So that's that. What I've also got here now, I'm just going to pop that to one side just to dry off for a moment. What I've also got here is I've got some of the snowy white velvet cardstock, and I'm going to create myself a bit of a hill. Now I've actually already gone ahead and done this one because this is the offcut from my prototype, so I've actually already gone and created the hills. But all I did is I've cut this to the same width as my my card base here, so my bit which I've just worked on, which was 9.5. I grabbed my snips, and all I've done, nothing special, I've just gone round and I've just cut myself a hill. I am just going to make it a little bit smaller down this way, because at the moment that's quite high. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off the bottom down here. Alright, so I'm just going to take a little bit off down the bottom, and then that then can see I probably can still take a little bit more off actually as well. So I'm just going to take that off there. And then that then can then get stuck onto that right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then I can then pop all of that to one side just to start drying and getting ready. Like so. So we're just going to stick that to the bottom like that. Now you could do this with just plain card if you wanted to. But because we had the snowy velvet, I figured I'm going to use it. No, I didn't think you would disagree with me there, Pat. There's never too much wink. So there we go. So that's then going to go on the bottom right there, and that's, you can see that gradient has now worked itself up quite nicely. So I'm just going to pop that to one side, and we will then dry that. That can just then continue drying and getting stuck. All right. What we would do now is I'm going to do myself some trees. So I'm going to stamp the tree in the large one. I'm going to also stamp the small one, and I'm going to stamp the medium one. Okay. Now, when I come up with, before I did this, I actually did do some stamping onto the snowy white velvet as well. I think you just got to push it, make sure you've got a bit of pressure on there. But it does work. Just make sure that you just push the pressure in certain areas. I obviously didn't, but I'm not going to stamp on that. I am going to just stamp onto some normal basic white cardstock. So I'm just going to grab myself some basic whites out here. And I'm just going to stamp these trees. So I'm going to do my first tree, I'm going to do in Night of Navy. So I'm just going to ink this up. And then I'm just going to then pop that in there. And then we then transfer, we make that a little bit. So we're going to have a dark tree. Then I'm going to grab myself Pacific points. And I'm going to take the medium tree, ink this up with Pacific points. Like that. I'm going to do that again because I think because where I've been doing my blending, there's a little bit of the ink isn't as strong in the middle, so I just need to make sure that I do that again. So that's it. You can see I've got a better coverage there now. That's only because I've, like I say, with the blending brushes, I've been taking the ink from the middle, and then I've done that, which is why it's stronger here than it is in the middle. So I just need to just be aware of that as if you do find that happens, that's probably what it is. You just need to move the ink around a little bit, or re-ink it. Will be another way of doing it. And then I'm then going to then take the small tree, and I'm going to then do this in Balmy Blue. Okay. That one there. Now I'm going to try it also in Pool Party, just to see what it looks like. But I think it might be a little bit too green. We'll just see what it looks like first. Yeah, it's a little bit too green for my liking. I think I'm going to go with the blues. But maybe I'll ask you.
What you asking?
Would you like a Balmy Blue tree or a Pool Party tree? So Balmy Blue or Pool Party?
What is it, tree?
Yeah, the small tree in a Balmy Blue or Pool Party. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to die cut all of these out now. And then whilst I'm die cutting out, you can then have a little look on the pole. So I'm just going to cut this, and then so it just runs through my machine just a little bit easier. Need to give myself a little bit of room here. There we have it. So, and make sure I put the correct plates back in now, because I'm now doing proper embossing. Just need to move my inky blocks out of the way, so just bear with me one moment. Wow. So I'm then just going to then just do this and then try and make sure these don't move.
Do you want some tape?
No, I'm fine, thank you very much.
It's good. It's sticky.
So there's number one. One tree cut. We will do the second tree.
Get your votes in. Get your votes in.
There we go. So Position that carefully, and then pop that down. So what's it looking like? It's looking like Barbie blue at the moment, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to use that as 91% of you want Barbie blue, which, yeah, please. And then we will then go Barbie blue with the small one over here.
Are you gonna ombre?
Ombre? What do you mean we're gonna ombre?
From light to dark.
And then we're going to have the Barbie blue tree right there. Oh, that's good. I'm very pleased with that one. My prototype, I messed up with my die cutting and it was all wonky. So, oh dear. But I did that fine. So good. So that's my trees, which are cut like so. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick this now to my card base. And we'll just stick this down flat. And that's going straight onto the Barbie blue, going straight onto the Misty Moonlight cardstock, like so. And I think that stands out quite nicely and pops off of that page quite nicely there. I'm just going to then just there we go. Alright, so it's really quite pretty on that one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm then going to then position these around like this here. So these are going to go onto some dimensionals. Where did I put them? Oh no, they're there. So I'm just going to take some dimensionals here and I'm just going to then pop dimensionals all over the big one. Okay. But I'm going to have to strategically place some mini ones on the smaller one because I'm going to overlap the tree a little bit. So what's everyone saying, Jay? Is there any...
Yeah, just said, oh no, I chose all the wrong answers. No, I said there's no wrong answers.
There we go. So that's going to go like that. And then I'm going to use the mini dimensionals now for this one, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this like so, like that. So I'm going to need a mini dimensional up here and I'm going to need a mini dimensional down the bottom there, because then the rest of it is then going to get stuck onto the tree and I don't want to give this in, I don't want to put any more height onto it, so I'm going to overlap but then just make sure that I know where those are going. So then those two can then go on like that, and then that can then stick on just like so. That's it. So 1 and 2, and then we'll stick that one. Goes on like so, and then this one I'm just going to stick straight down flat onto the card base itself. Okay, so just some Tombow glue on the back of that one, and then position that one like so. So that's that. All we need to do now is we need to just finish this off with a sentiment. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of room quickly. Like so. And what I'm going to do now is with sentiments, did I actually give myself any offcuts? I don't think I did. So I'm going to take myself some offcuts of some of the balmy blue. Just bear with me one moment. So we keep all of our cardstock in, like when we get offcuts we put them into our folder. So I'm just going to take a little bit of an offcut here Let's see if I've got one. I think that one actually might be quite a good size as it is. Because I want one which is going to be 3/4 of an inch wide, which is then going to then fit into... No, that's too big. Which is then going to fit into the punch. So I'm going to then actually just use a piece which I can cut down to size perfectly. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take my trimmer, and I'm just going to cut this at 3/4 of an inch, which is the size of the middle one. So if you get these punches, it's 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, or 1 inch, or 1.3, 1.9, or 2.5 centimeters. So I'm going to go with the middle one, which is 3/4 of an inch, or 1.9. I just need to just straighten off the edge there. And I need to do that as well with another piece of cardstock. So I'm going to use myself some of the Night of Navy. So I'm going to do the same with my Night of Navy. We've got all of our cardstock here. So I just find a scrap. There we go, that's one which I can cut down to size. And I'll do the same with that one there. Oh, that's already a card. Actually, no, I'm not going to use that one because that's already a card base already, which has gone back in. So I'm just going to grab myself another bit of a scrap. That one there will do. Alright, so I'm just going to cut this to 3/4 of an inch as well. So I've got my two pieces like so, which are the same thickness. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my Season's Greetings stamp. I am going to take my Versamark, wherever I have put my Versamark. There it is there. And I am going to take some, this time, I'm going to take... I've already got it out on the table. I'm going to take white embossing powder. Alright, so I'm going to prepare my cardstock like I would normally do to take off any inky fingers. So I'm just going to just prep it. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to ink up my Season's Greetings. And then I'm just going to then pop this to this side like that. There we go, so that's nice, and you can see there you've got the watermark which has gone onto that one. Just grab myself my piece which is then able to catch the powder. I can hold at this end because I'm going to cut this away and then pour my powder on top, and then that sticks nicely to that. Can you see that? And then we will then just heat set this. Again, lid on. So, heat set this, so I'm just going to turn the machine on for a moment. It's going to get noisy. So that has gone from a matte powder to a shiny white powder right there. Good. Alright, so the next thing what I want to do is I want to then pop this into this punch. So I've got the Banners Picker Punch, and I'm just going to literally just pop this in. Now you can either cut it down to size, or yeah, we can just work out where we want this now. So I've just taken a bit off the end. And remember from my mistake, which I did once before when I did this, I need to make sure I do it as a flat edge. And then I just want this to kind of like go. That's it. So I kind of want this to go around here. So let's take this off again. Around about that position. That then can go into my punch, which then gives me this banner right here. I'm going to do the same with the blue, but what I want is I want this to be just to kind of like give a little bit here. I want a bit of an edge like that. Oh, that's quite nice like that actually. Oh, I don't know. I quite like it like that. So if I was to actually just snip that off, that's different. So if I was to snip that off there, I'll just bring the trimmer in, just give that a bit of a white to make sure that is a straight edge. I don't know. So what I was going to do was I was going to cut off the edge there, just so it gives a bit of a. What do you think? Does that? How does that look? Alternatively, I'm going to cut it off.
Do you need a pole again?
And I'm going to offset it. And then cut it. So you know what? I would do the two. Yes. So I don't know how you want to say it. Night of Navy, cut or not cut? I'm gonna do the two because I want to see what it looks like when I actually do it.
So you want me to pull?
Yes. Please. And I'll show you how the other way is going to look as well. So either that way or that way. And these are going to go onto the top of this like so. So we've got it, so it's going to be like that, or like that. Let us know. What do you like? Something different there. Well, we're 50-50 at the moment now. People are changing their votes. What are we on? Cut, not cut. We are 50%. Is this going to be crafter's choice? We are not cut. Okay, let's do a countdown.
10.
Oh, back to 50% again. Oh, I've really divided you on this one here, isn't it? Normally it's a clear cut, but no.
The
next one to come in. Oh,
who's it gonna be?
cut is just come in. That was the last vote to come in. That cut has got it now, 64%.
Wow.
Okay, we're going to end it now. We're going to do cut, which is this one right here. Okay. I was just doing it. I was just playing around. I thought, oh, that looks interesting. But that's another way of doing it. Using that punch. Do it that way, and then you create that. You kind of create that chevron in there as well. All right. So that's just something. That's something for you to have a little look at. Good. So we will stick this down onto this. So again, you can either do this just like that, or you can have it offset just like this. So I'm going to have it offset so it's got the blue, it kind of gives it a bit of a blue. What are you laughing at, Jane? Oh, yeah. Gian, missed again.
Oh.
Maybe it's going to be, well,
you should.
If you're going to win this card, you're going to be disappointed, aren't you, Gian, if you get it, because it's not how you wanted it. So we're going to just pop that in like so. We've got that there. All right. And then I'm just going to then finish this off with some dimensionals. And then we're actually done. So do get your names in. Last chance to get your names in, because we're going to be picking a winner for the first card very, very soon. So I'm just going to pop some dimensionals on this. We will collect your names. And we will do a live draw with the wheel. The wheel of names. So that's that one. And that one can go on the top. Like that. And voila. We have card number 2 for you right there. So we have card number 1. Which was that one right there. Remember I showed you the how to emboss with your stencil. And then this one here was some ink blending onto some balmy blue cardstock. Like that. So what do you think? Do you like them? So good. So remember, last chance now. Get your names in. We will pick a winner very soon. And Jay's going to come over in a moment and he is going to show you something, I'm sure. If he has anything to show. Do you have anything to show tonight, Jay? Yeah. Yeah. He can show you something, I guess. Yeah, he's gonna go and don't know what to show you. I haven't been.
Luckily, I've been playing with whimsical trees.
You have been playing with whimsical trees as well, haven't you? Yeah. Are these the black and gold ones which you've been playing with? They're stunning. Lovely.
And was that your fancy fold as well?
That was a fancy fold which I did as well, which was from a while ago, but...
Yeah, so Barry did this fancy fold with the Whimsy and Wonder DSP, and of course whimsical trees, or well, whimsical baubles, I guess. Yes. Look, bedazzling paper, and you may have seen these on our Insta. Gilded leafing on black with loads of Wink of Stella sprinkles or splatters. And using the, of course, the dies as well. And the sentiment is actually a shortened version of the kind of like 4-line sentiments from the stamp set. And this one from today's Insta post, again doing the same but adding more techniques with die cuts on there, heat embossing, heat and stick on the stamp with the gilded leafing. And this one you haven't, I don't think you've seen this one. So using a bit of off-cut DSP just for underneath and stamping the trees.
It puts my blending to shame, really does.
I was gonna add this on the Stamp Review Crew blog hop, but it didn't go with the black and gold. So this one, and just adding a hint of smoky slate for the shadow under there. I think it just brings it to life even more. There you go.
Lovely. What do you think? I think it's just stunning, that one there. So I was really happy with that until then this one gets put by the side of it, and then that gets put by the side of it, and then so on and so on. So yes. But there's lots of ideas there with the Whimsical Trees stamp set. Not necessarily, obviously there is dies on these ones here, but you can not on that one and not really on that one there. You can use what you've got with your stamp sets. So remember, you can get that 50% off at the moment. So is there any last minute names which you may have just seen? Okay.
And I think that is everyone.
That's it. So we will add the last name is going onto the wheel.
The wheel.
And we are going to pick one of you.
Who's it gonna buy?
So we've got one of you. I've set the time up. So if you would like to win this card here, your name is in the draw right now if you've left us a comment. So let's go over to the wheel.
Did you change the
I did
number?
change it, yes. I did
Okay.
change it this time.
So 8 seconds. Who's it gonna be from the wheel? And the winner is Gian! Congratulations!
That is your card. The one which you don't like.
That's so funny.
That card is working its way over to you, Gian. So congratulations. Please message us, Barry and Jay at MitosuCrafts.com.
Amazing.
There we go, Gian. How random is that? You can see it's a completely and utterly random wheel. But Jan, everything you went against, it is now coming its way to you. It's going to work its way over to you.
I hope you still like it.
Yeah, I hope you like it. So, yes, that card is going to be yours. What did you want on this? Oh, you wanted a black sentiment on this one. If you prefer the black sentiment, I can send you the black sentiment because I do have one with a black sentiment. Let us know in your email, black or red. So good. Congratulations.
Yes.
Lovely.
Well done. Thank you everyone for voting and helping us create the card. Also, thank you for the super chat sticker.
Yes, thank you very much for your donations there. That's great. Thank you. So good. I think we will say goodnight for now, won't we? And we will be back with you again on we should be back on Sunday evening. We are Christmas tree decorating or Christmas house decorating at Mum's on Sunday, so we should be home. We should. If not, we're just doing a live from there.
Yes, we've done it before.
Yes, we have. But we'll be back with you again on Sunday evening, same time, same place, 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.